The voicemail was 23 seconds, just long enough to erase what little remained of my former life. "Hey," she began, her tone coated in that phony warmth she usually saved for strangers and servers. "We're leaving tomorrow. The cabin's gone. Sold the farmland, too. I already signed over the truck." A pause. Then, in that calculated gentleness, like a cat pretending not to have claws, "I'm sorry, but this was always going to happen. You just didn't want to see it." Click. No goodbye. No name. She didn't have to say it. I stood there, staring at the message beneath the cold, fluorescent lights of the hospital hallway. A faint red imprint still glowed across my chest from where the heart monitor had just been removed. It had been 48 hours since the surgery. I was still half numb, sutures tugging like tight-lipped mouths trying to whisper secrets through my skin. I called her back. She answered. "What are you talking about?" she asked, voice already tense, defensive, like she was bracing for an explosion. I laughed, loud, raw, unhinged. "You forgot something." Silence. Then, smaller, uncertain, "What do you mean?" Through the glass doors, I saw the nurse wheeling over a clipboard with my discharge papers. The land she thought she sold? It was never mine. Not anymore. I'd signed it over to her 2 years back. Quietly, after the second miscarriage. She'd said the city was suffocating her. Said the land made her feel rooted. So I gave it to her, not as a gift, but as an anchor. It was supposed to mean something. Stability. Trust. I made it seem like I hadn't kept records. Like I didn't know about the duplicate titles. Like I didn't notice the way her gaze lingered too long on Daniel's hands when he came over to help rebuild the porch. I'd buried my suspicions like bones beneath the soil. But soil moves. Bones come back up. First it was receipts. From gas stations 2 towns away. Then hotel confirmations, booked under her maiden name. And finally, the email I was never meant to see. Sent to a burner account I wouldn't have found if I hadn't caught the flicker of guilt in her eyes when I reached for her laptop. She was careful. Just not careful enough. The cabin. The land. The truck. All in her name. But 6 months ago, I had already quietly refiled the deed. Transfer it back to myself through a lawyer I trusted more than her. She never had a clue. I watched her, week after week, piecing together her exit while I recovered. Silence gave me space. Pain has a way of turning down the noise, sharpening everything else. And every day, the puzzle came together. Daniel's sudden business trips. The half-burned journal I found beneath the firewood. Scorched pages describing the life she planned with him. A life built on my silence. I sent a request to the county clerk under my mother's name, had the titles verified, pulled the vehicle transfer history, hired a private investigator. Small-town gossip wasn't detailed enough for what I needed. She played her role well, smiled through dinners, pretended to care as I healed, wiped sweat from my brow like she still loved me. I let her, because silence, when used right, cuts deeper than any words. And I was prepared to bleed, but not in the way she imagined. 2 days before that voicemail, a package landed on my doorstep. Photos, financial statements, GPS logs, a hotel bill with both their names. DNA results for an envelope I'd found tucked into her coat weeks earlier. It wasn't meant for me. It was addressed to Daniel. She was pregnant. She hadn't told me. Probably planned to tell him after the sale was final. After I was out of the way, replaced by the quiet man who helped repair our home while tearing it apart. When she answered my call, still smug, I waited. "What do you mean I forgot something?" I told her, slow, cold, "The land, it's not in my name. Hasn't been for some time." She hesitated. I could hear the panic creeping in, her pulse trying to outpace her thoughts. "You sold your own land," I added. "Congrats." The silence that followed was heavy. Warped. "No. Wait. I saw the title." "You saw what I let you see." I hung up. That was enough. The next morning, I dropped an envelope at the lawyer's office. Inside, a signed statement revoking her power of attorney, a notarized reversal of the land transfer, nullifying the sale, photos of her and Daniel. I filed a fraud report on the vehicle transfer too. I didn't bother calling her again, but she called me 6 times. Voicemails layered with confusion, fury, pleading. Her voice cracked on the 4th one. I didn't mean for this to happen. I thought we could start over. You weren't supposed to. Exactly. I wasn't supposed to survive, was I? She didn't realize I'd overheard her the night before surgery, telling Daniel the stress might kill him. That night, I sat on the porch alone, the scent of pine and old smoke still clinging to the cabin walls. The documents were filed. The land was mine again. The truck seized. Daniel fired her. She left with nothing but a suitcase and the shards of a failed fantasy. I didn't chase her, didn't warn her, didn't care. The wind moved through the trees like a whisper, but not hers, not anymore. At me, I didn't smile. I didn't cry. I just breathed out, because the truth is, I never actually needed her. She only survived on me not knowing that. And now I do.